Cab ride away from Midtown Manhattan at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Greg Zuerlein set to get us started here, and off we go from MetLife Stadium. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Off of play action, Darnold. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. Oh, he had a man running free, but he overshot him, and it's incomplete.
Oh, man, that is just a flat miss. He's in the pocket. The protection holds up. He sees his man come free, but maybe he just gets a little excited about the prospect of a long touchdown.
First carry here for Kenneth Walker III. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Back to throw, Darnold. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a 1st down.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there, 2nd down.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Play action. It's Darnold. That's caught over the middle by Fant. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That's good for a 1st down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
Up the middle, here's Walker. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. Well, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Ball on the 40 now. Here's 2nd and a yard. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. Oh, and that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. 10 yards and a Seattle 1st down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Out quickly here to Smith and Jigba.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 7 from the 27. Now it's Darnold. This is the tight end Fant. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. Well, that's not just his first, not his second, already his 3rd completion here on the opening drive. And I think it's safe to say that getting him the ball in this game, one of their top priorities.
And a top priority for the defense has got to be finding ways to cover him. And I don't think you can have one basic coverage to get it done. You have to throw a number of coverages at him, make him think as he's running downfield, and hope you can create a little bit of havoc.
So forget the 3 and out. The penalty makes this 1st and 10. To throw is Darnold. This one goes underneath to Walker. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Just a gain of a couple there. And that'll make it second down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down.
It's been a good opening drive offensively thus far, but you know they don't want to waste it and settle for a field goal attempt after that incompletion. So this is a big play coming up here on third down.
Darnold to throw again. And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on third down, forcing the errant pass. Fourth down coming up.
Well, it's been a tough go for them. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a fourth down. Well played.
Myers' kick is good. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. And all in all, a pretty decent opening drive, Charles. Pretty balanced. They had the passing game going and the rushing attack, too.
I would think they have to be happy with that start because you get your ground game going, which means your offensive line and your runners are pretty happy, and then you get your aerial attack going as well, so your quarterback and receivers have smiles on their faces. Now both up to speed, awaiting their next possessions for this game. They can't wait to get started again.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And New York set to take the field. Now Hall to start the drive. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
2nd down, 8 to go from the 28. They'll go again with Hall. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. From the gun on 3rd down, Fields. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have a Jets first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. When you give up points on the opening drive, in this case a field goal, you'd hate to go 3 and out. They avoid that.
They do, and it's also walking that fine line mentally, too, as a coach, isn't it? Because you want to emphasize to your team exactly what you said. All right, we gave up a field goal. Let's go back and at least equal that, guys. But if we don't, you don't want them to feel like it's the end of the world either. Nice that they were able to pick up the first down there, help them relax a little bit.
A bit of a jump there, CD. He breaks the line, and that'll be 5 yards.
And you've got to stay more disciplined than that, Brandon. That's just a free gift to the offense.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. Fields. That's going to be caught by Josh Reynolds. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The Jets on the move. Couple of big plays back-to-back.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Here's Fields. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Nice progress down the field, was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Here's 2nd and 10. Hall on a give up the middle. And he's going to get this pretty close to a first down as the tackle is made at the Seahawks 36. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
And he is going to have a Jets first down. It's a gain of 6 that time on 3rd and 2. Couple of nice carries back-to-back here, establishing the ground game a bit.
Yeah, these aren't bare-bones runs now. I mean, they're getting substantial yardage, the kind of yards you're looking for, right? Let's go ahead and use a cliche. Stay ahead of the change, right? 5 or more yards each time. That's what you're looking for in setting a tone and getting your offensive line going.
Good sign on the opening drive. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Now it's Fields. This pass out wide to Hall. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
Back to throw, Fields. He's got Wilson, and that's a Jets touchdown. A 14-yard touchdown. And the Jets are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead. Well, Charles, here in their opening series, they said they had certain plays scripted for certain players. That looked like a well-designed play to get one of their top targets involved.
Yeah, let's face it, Brandon. A player of his talent is a problem for any opponent to defend, and we saw it right there. They tried to deny an open lane to him. He still outplayed the coverage and scored the early touchdown. Good luck trying to figure out how to defend him as this game moves on.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their second drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. He'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Now Darnold. Completes it to Fant on the right side. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
And the offense is saying to itself right now, if only they were all this easy, because he was wide open. And once he made the catch, plenty of room to work his way downfield. That was a breakdown on the defensive side of the ball, one that they want to fix immediately.
Straight ahead, Walker. Down at the 35, it'll be second down.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7. Open on the left side. This is Valdez-Scantling. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll leave him with a 3rd and 2. Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, it turned into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, Get it out to him.
2 yards still to go. Third down now. They'll try for the first with Walker. And he'll go down at the 28. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
A lot depend on the spot there, and he got it. But it wasn't by much, was it? I remember Coach Madden talking about, depending on which foot the official used, that would tell you whether you had the first down or not. You want that upfield foot to be the one that spots the ball, don't you?
And you and I have the luxury of a couple extra views here in the booth, and he did get it, but not by much. And they'll get him down inside the red zone at the 14. It's also a gain of 14. First down. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Seahawk football here to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Walker. And they get to him quickly here as he stopped right around the 13. And Jamie Sherwood there to make the stop.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Open man right side is Cup, complete. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds right at the 3. It's the first catch of the game for Cup, and he's got a first down. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the...
And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Ken Walker, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks are able to move back in front.
2 good drives on their first 2 possessions. Remember, the first wound up in a field goal, but we all know field goals aren't going to cut it in the NFL, so they're not going to be denied here, and they wind up punching this one into the end zone.
Myers connects on the PAT, and the lead is now 10-7. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Back onto the field come the New York Jets for their second drive. A lot of time for this unit to game plan on the sideline after that drive that they watched the other side just score. But remember, last time they were out, they scored as well. We'll see if they can seize that momentum right back.
And they have had a lot of time to cool off from reaching the end zone the last time. So have they been able to keep themselves mentally sharp and into this game, even though they haven't been on the field? And you and I both know, one big play, though, gets them right back up to that level.
And that's good for a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up second down. To throw is Fields. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Uchenna Nwosu got the sack there. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
They'll set up the screen for Hall. Oh, able to avoid him. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
Got to give their offensive coordinator credit there. He got right into the head of the defensive coordinator because right on the heels of the sack on 2nd down, he figured they were going to come at him hard again. And so he went ahead and hit what a brilliant call. Screen pass works well enough. They're able to pick up a first down. That's one way to keep that defense at bay.
And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And it'll bring up a 2nd and short.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination.
Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Derek Hall in there that time to get him to the turf. It seemed like he kept going through those progressions, and I thought he might dump that underneath, but he couldn't get rid of the football in time.
And I have to wonder if he was thinking while he was back there, I wish there were a lot less progressions on this play, just someone that I can dump the ball to and get it out of my hands.
Now Fields. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 38-yard line. Catch number 4 for him on the afternoon, and it'll give him a first down.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Flushed out right. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
2nd and 6. Fields now to throw. That's taken in, complete to Reynolds. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. They'll look to make it 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. They need a yard here. Here's Fields. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he is going to have a Jets first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
Another catch for him there on this drive, Brandon, and it looks like they're going to utilize him out of the backfield any way they can. And that time they pick up a first down. So now on defense, do you assign a man to him and try and cover him before he gets going?
On the throw, led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
To throw again on 2nd down. Fields. They're going for Lazard, but this is intercepted. Picked off by Devin Witherspoon. And the Seahawks are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Off of play action, Darnold. Smith and Jigba with a grab. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Back to throw, Darnold. This is Fant on the short completion. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and it'll be second down.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
Now off the bootleg, Darnold. Out right to Smith and Jigba. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Give to Walker on the read option. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first.
They had yet to run the ball at all on this drive, but 3rd and short definitely was a great time to dial one up.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold. He'll get that to Charbonnet. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah.
And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Will McDonald gets in there to take him down.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there, saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. And he's going to go down again. The former 3rd overall pick, Quinnen Williams there to bring him down.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
And here's Dixon to punt now as he gets this one away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Another go-around now for the Jets offense. In a close game like this, Charles, those interceptions like they had on the last drive could be costly, but here they've got another opportunity to seize control of this game.
And they'd better take advantage of it because otherwise, if they end up losing by 1 score, they'll relive this over and over and over until they have another opportunity to wipe it away.
And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds.
All that practice time came to fruition on that play. All those timing routes that they work on through training camp, regular season, they got it done on that one and out up the completion.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields. And check down, complete to Hall. They'll wind up getting just a yard. And it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. Out of the gun, Fields. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. Loose inside the 30. Inside the 10. And he's in. Touchdown, Jets. Garrett Wilson with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Jets have moved out in front. So let's see, that was 3rd and 2. They hit the short pass, having the first down. He said, well, let's get a little more than the first down, all the way into the end zone.
And I know this is the NFL, and 3rd and 2 isn't necessarily a rundown. I think most of the time you play it as a passing down. But you can disguise it a little bit, right? You can show heavy run formation, make it look that way, and still throw the football effectively, as we just saw there. And he's still running, isn't he?
He stopped now, and he got 6 points for it. Now after the touchdown, it's Zerline. He'll kick it away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Now it's Darnold. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. They get 17 on that one. Move the chains. First down, Seahawks.
And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat and has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you've got to fool them. Screen passes like that can take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far.
Ball hit as he throws there, incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. Here's Darnold. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger game.
Darnold. Repeated the last play, finding Walker. And he won't get close. Only a yard, 4th and 3.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. And this one's out of bounds. Should be inside the 10, I think it is. At the 6-yard line. And the Jets going to go on offense one last time in this first half. And they'll begin inside their own 10, so field position certainly not in their favor here. A little over 20 seconds remaining in the half as they'll line up here 1st and 10. Here's Fields. He'll find Reynolds over the middle. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that'll bring up 2nd down. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And the Jets set to receive this 3rd quarter kickoff, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in the 2nd half. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Now the Jets going to take over on offense to begin this 3rd quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. And I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. 2nd and 10. A play fake, now Fields to throw. And that's going to be incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Now it's Fields. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
That's be exactly what they were looking for coming out to start the 3rd quarter. Get a sack, get off the field, get the momentum going in their direction.
Get the ball back to your offense, right? Get that momentum because, hey, this lead is very, very slim. Here's Thomas Morstead now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's pulled in at the 32. A 46-yard punt, 8 yards on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the 2nd half. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively, just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. Ball placed at the 45 for 2nd and 5. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Here is 3rd and 5. Darnold now to throw. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
And we're into the 2nd half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Back on offense, New York gets set to take over. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Hall again on 2nd down. And he'll take this to about the 24, a gain of 3.
Well, they're hoping that the 2nd half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Third down and 6. Back to throw. Fields. And he'll find Hall. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It'll go as a gain of 11 and a Jets first down.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49. 44 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think...
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked by Julian Love. And the Seahawks are going to take over here up near the 40. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Left side, he finds Smith and Jigba. And he'll go out of bounds, it appears, right at the 45. Ball spotted at the 45. Here's a 2nd down and 4. Out of the gun, Walker with it. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
Now Darnold. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. A big play there on the catch and run. 33 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
Trying the left side with Walker. Down to the 25. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play, able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. Play action, it's Darnold. Noah Fant with a catch on the crossing route. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Noah Fant, 25 yards for the touchdown. And the Seahawks have taken the lead here in this 3rd quarter.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And it's now 17-14. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. And the Jets set to take the field. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it. Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. Talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 69 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game. One thing that's great about watching him run, Charles, he doesn't hesitate. He got to the left side of his O-line and just went.
So there's two ways to look at that. One, just absolutely unconcerned, just takes off and goes. But more the latter, I think, which is he has absolute confidence in the guys in front of him, the guys doing the blocking for him. He just takes it and goes with abandon.
He was looking for Josh Reynolds that time, and that'll bring up second down. Now Fields. That'll be complete to Allen Lazard. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
So 3rd and 2. This quite possibly 4-down territory, though, if they're stopped. They'll run with Hall. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 9 yards that time.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Play action. It's Fields. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. This 2nd and 4. Here's Fields. Ruckert hauling it in on the out route. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
Here's a quick throw out to Wilson. And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down. Facing a 2nd and 3. Ball on the 10. Throwing again is Fields. He's into the secondary. Touchdown, Jets. Breece Hall from 10 yards out. And the Jets have answered back with a 3rd quarter touchdown of their own to retake the lead. Well, CD, you know he's got great options at wide receiver, tight end, but there he looks to the backfield, and it results in a touchdown.
I love how you laid that out. So many options. You maybe forget about some of the ones that you should be covering, and they made them pay with that one, didn't they? You forget about the guys in the backfield, they're eligible too.
Now after the touchdown, it's Zuerlein. He'll kick it away. And he returns this to the 22. Now the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
Man, confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 67 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside, and so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Samuel Aguavin from that outside linebacker spot gets in there. It's a loss of 9.
The last run went so well for them. Maybe they should have just handed it off right here, too. Instead, the quarterback ends up keeping it, and the defense is right on it and wipes away the yardage gained on the last snap.
On the handoff, this is Walker. They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on third down.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Under pressure now, Darnold, and he goes down. Quinnen Williams picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
Even the most elusive quarterbacks have those tough days where they can't avoid sacks, and this is one of them. Third time he's gone down. He might develop some happy feet now, want to escape the pocket and try and gain more yardage with his legs.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Fielded at the 33. So both teams trade touchdowns, and the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's Jet football as they've got the lead here, and we get set to begin quarter number 4. Jets offense coming up now to start their next drive. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
I like a guy who understands the situation. I also like a guy who you look at him and you say, that looks like a guy who knows the coach is going to say, guess what? You drop this one, you'll be carrying around a training facility for an entire week.
Maybe flashback to high school or college, carrying it around campus, right?
The old gauntlet drill, right? Anyone get the ball out while he's sitting in class and bring it back to the coach, he's in big trouble.
5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on second.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss. Well, it's been a little bit of feast or famine because he's thrown for decent yardage, and obviously they've got the lead, Charles, but now he's been sacked 4 times.
And what I'm focusing on is his toughness in the pocket. Because you mentioned the feast or famine part, he's played well in between being dumped on his back. But every time he's had a chance to throw the football, he's been impressive.
It'll be a 39-yard punt, 4 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Seahawks again now ready to take over on offense. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. Here's Walker to start the drive. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
The Seahawks on 3rd down, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1.
Hand off here to Walker.
And he gets it to the 34, good enough for the first. 4 yards on the pickup, good enough to extend the drive.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Off of play action, Darnold.
And he's got Smith and Jigba.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 23 yards on the play. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
A play fake, and it's Darnold. He'll get this one to Kupp, complete. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. 11 more on that one, and another first down.
And here we are in the fourth quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
Faking the give, Darnold. That is taken in by the tight end Fant. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Noah Fant with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His second touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And they will be looking to answer the touchdown their defense just surrendered. Still a good chunk of time remaining here in the fourth quarter and a chance to regain the lead in a tight one. They'll fake the handoff. Now Fields. Buying time to his... And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Taken down for the fifth time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front and getting to them. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking them.
So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Fields now to throw. Being chased out left. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
Well, there were a couple of extra defensive backs in the game, so he really had nowhere to go with the football despite his search for an open receiver. So he has to take off and run for it, but he comes up well short of the line to gain.
Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seahawks take back over. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would. And in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
yeah, not the case.
Not at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about seeing defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far.
Well, it certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Well, I like the play design there. They occupied the defense downfield, everyone trying to account for someone. But unfortunately, they didn't account for the running back slipping out of the backfield, and he was absolutely unnoticed and wound up getting big yards on that play.
On the give, it's Walker.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
From the 46, here's second down and 8.
Here's Darnold. This is the tight end Fant. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
And we constantly talk about people being on the same page. In this situation, the two of them saw the play with the same eyes. They understood where the open spaces were going to be, and they found a way to get there to pick up a new set of downs.
Back to throw, Darnold.
And that went to the right side and incomplete.
Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
The offense for the Jets ready to take over. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Here's Fields.
That is incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
To throw is Fields.
They're unable to connect, but a late flag comes in. And the contact may have come too early. Trying to defend the out route there, got the PI call.
And you know what's difficult about that one is sometimes you want to make the undercut move and go for the football, and other times just want to hang on the upfield shoulder and make the tackle. I think he got caught in between and created a foul.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Derek Hall able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. From the gun on 3rd down, Fields.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Oh, football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
To throw is Darnold.
Outright to Smith and Jigba.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
That's tough to play zone defense when they can just curl up right there in front of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talk about finding the soft spot. Defensively, how do you make sure they don't find the soft spot like they did there?
Tough to do, because what they normally will do is run routes that'll pull you out of that spot that they want to get into. That's what we call not taking the cheese, right? Don't go for the mousetrap. But it's hard to do, because when you see a guy cutting that in that direction, you tend to go towards him.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. A first down there on a pickup of 25.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the fourth quarter.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Now a run with Walker. He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4. Second down. He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Again, it's Walker.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down. Now a timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. They'll give it up to the big man Walker. And he'll be taken down at the 34. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Darnold now to throw.
Oh, he had a man open. He overshot him. It's incomplete.
And in an afternoon where just about everything's gone right, there's an unlikely sight there. He's got a receiver all alone downfield, and he just overshoots him.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to swell the lead to 6. Myers' kick is good, and that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So they get to 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now, because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away.
And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23.
So the Jets now down 27-21. 1:37 remaining. They need a touchdown. A field goal is worthless now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Back to throw. Fields. It's complete. Lazard.
And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds.
Now 2nd and 4. All eyes on Fields.
His throw incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
Here now, 3rd down. Now Fields. He gets it underneath to Hall. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Nothing open downfield. They went underneath.
Yeah, see if you can get it to your running back. See if you can make someone miss in the open field.
Plenty of time to work with here, but the timeouts, they're gone. Here's 1st and 10. Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Picked up by the former first-rounder Artie Burns. The Seahawks in victory formation as they go ahead and take the knee. So he'll take a knee here to wrap this one up, and he's going to want to keep that game ball. He was sensational. So the victory here for Seattle. And we talked so much about the turnover battle determining who wins and who loses. This game, no exception. They didn't turn the ball over at all, and they go on to victory.
They look like a smooth operation in this one, didn't they? Because you look at every facet of the game, they handled their business. Offense took care of the football, converted it into points. Defense took the ball away, gave it back to the offense. Special teams, right there with them. That's the type of game a coach is going to really love and value. And when they show the film, they have to be careful not to give out too many kudos and kill their motivation going forward.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.